more coming.
Are there parallels with how the working classes are feeling in Britain, but they're turning to the populist right?
Yeah, it's a sad state of affairs that the Labour government did such an undemocratic thing, but I guess that's the state of the world now. That's the state of liberal democracy now. I didn't have a problem going into the country under Tory leadership, which, clearly I'm at bigger odds with.
They've said that your presence in the UK wouldn't be conducive to the public good. Do you think that would harm the last side?
No. No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. The overwhelming majority of the Western world, I think, recognizes that what Israel is doing is a genocide. I think the media is now playing catch-up at this point, but for the most part, the people are pretty united on this issue. And no matter how hard governments move in the direction of repression, you can't really hide from it. You can't really hide from the shame either. So, it's a setback, it's a hurdle, it's a real shame as well, especially considering that. I mean, I personally thought the UK was a bastion of liberal democracy, that these values like freedom of expression were values that especially the Labour government would be committed to. Hopefully there will be some attitude shifts happening with Burnham. I'm not.
Committed to those values, but it says that
Yeah, I don't. I have not been in there. Yeah, I think. Yeah, of course the government is going to say that. They're not going to be like, yeah, we hate free speech now, but were they really committed to it with the pensioners that they arrested for the Palestine action protests that were taking place? I don't think so. I think that was a significant mode of repression from a government that recognizes that they are out of step with the needs of their voters, with the needs of the masses that recognize that Israel is committing a genocide, and the masses that demand a change from their government. That is the fundamental of liberal democracy, something that I believe in, something that I'm fighting for here in the United States of America, as the Trump administration is putting democracy in the crosshairs. And it is a real shame to see that exact same mechanism of repression get repeated in a country like the United Kingdom. Of course it's going to deny it. They're not going to say they're fascist. They're not. Yes, of course. And there's, we're in works. There were a bunch of different conferences that I was supposed to take part in that I had to take part in digitally. Now, in the age of the internet, it is also additionally silly to try to restrict movement in this regard. But I think it was more so a message. It was a message to everybody else that to think twice before they speak out against Israel and against the UK's relationship with Israel, against the United States' relationship with Israel. It's very frustrating, and it also has an additional compounding effect in terms of growing anti-Semitism. Not only is this false association of Zionism and Judaism very harmful for Jews living in the Western world, and it's something that I actually ironically warned about the last time I was in the UK when I spoke at the Oxford Union, which is what I was supposed to do this time as well before I got banned. It's also very harmful for democracy in general. We should not feel comfortable about our governments taking action like this. I'm not. Yeah, no, I totally understand that. It's something that I oppose. Anti-Semitism is something that I fought back against. It is the canary in the coal mine of fascism. It's completely unacceptable. I'm an anti-fascist. I'm uncompromising on those values. I will always fight back against anti-Semitism as well. The fear can sometimes be very valid, and sometimes I think the fear steps into the territory of defending the nation-state of Israel and its actions. I think people are people, countries are countries. I criticize Saudi Arabia vehemently. No, of course not. Of course not. And I do think that there is a legitimate reason for it as well. I think there is it's not a secret that anti-Semitism has historically exploded in times of Israel's sieges in Gaza, and this time being the most consequential one, the most violent one, has also led to an increase in anti-Semitism. we believe that is partially born out of this false association between Judaism and Zionism, a false association between the nation-state of Israel and Jews living in the Western world, Jews all around the world. We oppose that, and we will continue fighting back against that, no matter what people say.
No, it's correct.
Many younger voters, especially, are feeling quite issues tonight.
Absolutely. I mean, it's not a secret. I think this race, as well as many other races that I've played somewhat of a role in, I had the honor to work alongside some of these wonderful candidates. This insurgent movement that's growing in this country has proven time and time again that it's not just about Israel, but a litany of different issues as well. It's about corporatism. For some, it's about capitalism. But for many, it's about corruption and a lack of interest from our politicians to address some of these economic pains that people are experiencing. I mean, after all, this is exactly what Donald Trump ran on as well. He said he was going to fix the prices, and yet prices remain quite high. There's a real affordability crisis in this country. He said he was going to run on a peace ticket, that he was going to be the peace president, and yet he has started countless wars and only continues to leave the world in a state of disarray. A lot of people are very frustrated by that. It's not just the Democrats either. There are a lot of independents who are frustrated by this too, and there are a lot of Republicans who are frustrated by this too. And I think it's fine for DC to be bubbled in and to be completely out of step with the needs of the masses, at least for the time being, because this is a real opportunity for campaigns such as this one, such as Abdul's, such as Malak Kiros, Chris Rabb, many people who are here right now, Donovan McKinney, who's running tomorrow as well in the primary, to really shine, to show that there is an alternative perspective out there, one that centers the needs of the working class rather than corporate interests, because for far too long that's been the only game in town. But we're coming.
Are there parallels with how the working classes are feeling in Britain, but they're turning to the populist right and not the left? Why do you think that is?
That is an exact parallel that I warned about when Keir Starmer won his race. That was my biggest warning to the British fans that I have, that if Keir Starmer does not overturn years and years of Tory-backed austerity measures, that the populist right was going to continue growing and become a force that the left, the institutional left, could not even fight back against. And I'm afraid that's exactly where we're at. However, at least with the Green Party, there is a little bit of excitement where the base can turn to a functional party that will represent their needs, that will represent a significant significant pushback against the growth of fascism in the UK, whether it be reform or even restore Britain. Including restore Britain and its unholy allegiance with the likes of Elon Musk.